One approach that I practice with myself is what I call the unsaid. To think of your younger self, your little boy self, your little girl self, your inner child. And for many of us, when attachment injuries are the result, or attachment trauma came out of various attachment injuries that are unintegrated and unhealed, and over time now you have the evidence of these trauma symptoms that are linked to your attachment system and how you bond with others, the quality of bonding. And many of us who live this as adults means that in our childhood experiences, we had experiences of being neglected or ignored, and feeling a chronic sense of loneliness and emptiness. So something I like to do that I find helpful to empower and to wake up, to name to be able to go against the assumptions that I inherited in the family system, where at the time I was not able to speak because we collude, we go along with the flow, we go with what the collective family culture is. And if the culture is that we ignore each other, well, then no one is counter to that. No one will really speak up or speak out against it. And unless the whole family system changes together, it's even if one person becomes the squeaky wheel and tries to voice that they want to change, they don't want to be ignored, or they want to be welcomed, they want to be seen, they want to be engaged more. If you ask for this, and usually we don't ask directly, we come up with very sophisticated or kind of backdoor adaptive behaviors to try to get more attention, to get more engagement. So this runs the spectrum from being the overachiever, being super great at gymnastics, or being super great as an artist, or being a straight A student, and trying to prove your worth through your accomplishments and to get attention. Or it goes the other way, and then we have the rebel, the acting out, the instigator, the bad seed, the bad child who's doing things to get in trouble, quote unquote, for attention. And it's all about trying to manage that we're not engaged in our family. So during this, when it's happening, we collude with this culture, and we collude with the belief systems that mean we keep our mouth shut. And some of us, thankfully, we didn't keep our mouth shut. But even if we were vocal in different ways, there's oftentimes still living inside of us that which is unsaid. And that's what I want to share this exercise. And if you can think of a period of time or an age of your younger self, and you are feeling ignored, you're feeling isolated, you're feeling disconnected from family because the family is not paying attention to you. And it could be so confusing if the family's there, the family's in the room, they're actually nice, sweet, friendly people. And maybe for some people watching this video, your family, they were not nice, sweet, friendly people. But I'm adding that layer because it becomes so confusing and complicated, because we're getting a constant mixed messages of how is it possible that these supportive, friendly, kind people who in certain ways are providing care and taking care of our needs and being generally supportive, but at the same time we have this chronic absence and this profound longing and loneliness and a disconnection, and we don't feel like we belong. And for many of us, then we feel like we don't even belong in the family. We need to voice this. We need to say what is living in us that's unsaid. And if we can think of a particular age or a time when we're in that, and we can then bring our current adult self into that image, into that memory, into that imagined scenario where the little boy self is sitting or interacting with family, or where the little girl self is sitting and interacting with family. And either we need to imagine we empower the younger self to speak up and to say things that we were never able to say, or if the child doesn't have the resource or feel safe to do it, we bring our current adult self into that memory and we voice it for the child. So what this looks like, it's a way, for me, it takes on a sharp, biting tone. For me, it's about having a bit of a in-your-face attitude. So your presentation might be different. But for me, it's really being able to tap into observing how a context where I'm being ignored or there's a lack of an emotional engagement, and what's living in me in this moment, in my body, in my psyche, as part of a healing process, I need to say what has gone unsaid. And what that is, and again, I'm telling you, my presentation has a bit of a strong, forceful delivery. Maybe your presentation is going to be very different, and you'll have a different flavor or a different style. But for me, it's about raising my voice and saying, pay attention, people. Pay attention, family. Turn off the TV. Stop coming and going. Sit down. And, can't you see that I'm here playing on the floor with these Legos? Will someone, get down here and play Legos? Get down here and engage. Participate. And not everyone will consider this a necessary exercise, but for me, my history, this has been really powerful and helpful to come into a more grounded, centered place, to realize that I've been yearning for years to be able to make the completion. And quite literally, the completion is to speak, to say what has gone unsaid. So go ahead and experiment with this. You might find it helpful. Feel free to morph it however you want to apply it to yourself. But it's an exercise that I find very helpful.